Hi everyone, Trgg here with a new video, and in this one I'm going to talk about patch 8.1 and how it's not going to save BFA, at least for now. Most of the changes that are coming our way on December 11th are more quality of life changes that should have been implemented into the game in patch 8.0. But before we talk more about the subject, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more WoW content. Okay, let's jump into the video. I've always been honest in my opinion about World of Warcraft and Blizzard, but some of the WoW content creators here on YouTube have to wake up and finally acknowledge that patch 8.1 won't save BFA, and that current WoW is in a very dark and bad place. BFA is just a fraction of what Legion was. I think we can all agree that in general BFA feels like a major step backwards. In Legion, Blizzard handled the content patches in a superb manner. There was always something that we could look forward to. Remember that we had Karazhan and Trial of Valor before Nighthold, and in BFA we're getting nothing, except for new island expeditions and new war fronts, and honestly, who the fuck is looking forward to more of that type of content? Blizzard succeeded in burning people out at such a fast rate, it's almost insane. We're hardly a few months into the new expansion, and I already had to switch guilds twice because everybody stops playing or takes a break from raiding. Heck, even in my current raid team, they had to replace almost a third of their core raiding team because most of their players could no longer endure another week into Mythic Uldir. Personally, I think Uldir is going to be around for way too long, especially for a first raid tier, and that the 2-boss raid, the Crucible of Storms, should have been released before and not after the Battle of the Zora lore. Don't get me wrong, Emerald Nightmare in Legion was over after 8 weeks, which is obviously too fast, but Uldir will have lasted for almost 20 weeks by the time the Battle of the Zora lore goes live in the end of January. 20 freaking weeks of Uldir is in my opinion way too long, especially since we couldn't sink our teeth into anything else in terms of raiding content. Trust me, I get it, you have to give people the time to clear the mythic difficulty of the raid, and of course releasing a new raid in December wouldn't be ideal with all of the holidays, but if they had released a mini raid mid-November, that would have been great. Keep in mind that the biggest part of the subscriber base from World of Warcraft doesn't even raid Mythic, so it just blows my mind as to why we didn't get a mini raid in between like in Legion. No wonder people are getting burned out after going through so many weeks of Uldir. On top of that, people have to consume all of BFA's content through shitty and uninspiring gameplay, which is, if you ask me, probably the #1 reason as to why most people stop playing World of Warcraft, and it doesn't look like patch 8.1 is going to bring any drastic changes to the gameplay. Even more so when all of these so-called class changes or reworks, whatever you want to call them, are nothing more than a bunch of number tweaks which could have been implemented into the game via a hotfix. BFA's bad class design and uninspiring gameplay are without a doubt the most common reason as to why most players unsub from the game. You have to ask yourself the question why all of a sudden Blizzard are pushing hard on making quality of life changes when it comes down to playing alts. You know why? Because deep down inside they know all too well how boring the game is when you keep playing the same class. Let me ask you another question, how many people you know rerolled classes in BFA? The answer is a shit ton of people already re-rolled. Every new expansion I try to find my perfect main, and because I have a YouTube channel for BFA, I made a series called Finding My Perfect Main for Battle for Azeroth. How classy, I know. And you know what? Before BFA, I never had any issues in finding a class that appealed to me and that I enjoyed playing. But oh man, in BFA, finding that perfect main was incredibly hard. And if I am completely honest, I'm still searching for that perfect main, a class that I enjoy playing, and I think a lot of people can agree that they're also still searching for a perfect main that they can keep playing, to not get bored with BFA. Well, I got a newsflash for you guys, I really don't think that class even exists in the current version of Battle for Azeroth. Okay, enough ranting, let's go over the new content that's coming in patch 8.1 very quick. New Darkshore Warfront, new island expeditions, more storylines and quest lines for the war campaign. But you know what, people will chew through that content in a day. New incursions, leveling changes and reputation changes, and oh yeah, heritage armor for both the Blood Elves and the Dwarves. Fair enough, those are new upcoming changes that are actual content. Now you might say, hey Trgg, you missed a few things. And you're absolutely right. Let's go over the changes that should have been implemented at the start of BFA. Warfront Vendor, Island Expedition Vendor, Azerite Armor Vendor, Paragon Reputation Awards, and class changes. Personally, for me, the only interesting things that I'm excited for are only coming in January of next year in Season 2, which will be the new raid, new Azerite gear with the new 5th outer ring, which, unlike I thought, it's not going to have a major impact, not the impact that I was hoping for, and definitely not the impact on the gameplay, as it is not going to impact the gameplay or influence the gameplay in a major way. The new Mythic Plus affixes are also coming with Reaping, new higher item level loot from dungeons, emissaries, and warfronts. And for those of you who got tricked into buying BFA for Culture and Humans and Zandalari Trolls, guess what? You will have to wait even longer. Well played, Blizzard. You know how in the beginning of BFA people were comparing it to Worlds of Draenor? Well, I got a really nice anecdote. So think about this for a second. Battle for Azeroth will have way more content than Worlds of Draenor. Yet I enjoyed WoD personally more than BFA, because back then at least the class design and gameplay were enjoyable. Now I know you will be saying, damn, he's always coming back with the same thing, but that's just the way it is, and it's simple facts. During my stream I always tell people, just think about it, WoD was bad because of the lack of content, while BFA with a lot of content feels boring and uninspiring. Just let that sink in for a minute. I also get the feeling that the drop-off of players this expansion has been huge compared to other expansions. I know all the time after any launch of any expansion, I still had some friends who would hang around and play retail WoW, but this expansion I hardly see anyone online. Hell, I would even give one of my kidneys so I could just take a look at the sub numbers, how high they were at launch, how huge the drop-off has been, and how many people are currently still playing BFA. When looking at the bigger picture and what has happened the past couple of months, I think it's safe to say that Battle for Azeroth shouldn't have been released this early, and the only reason it did get released was because Activision Blizzard had to please their shareholders. I'm pretty sure that the majority of players have left Battle for Azeroth behind them and are waiting for either Classic WoW or the next upcoming expansion. Personally, I really love World of Warcraft. It is and has been a big part of my life, but I'm afraid that patch 8.1 is not going to fix BFA. Maybe people will come back for 8.2, who knows? I just get the feeling that Blizzard keeps making the same mistakes, and it doesn't really look like they're learning from the mistakes they made in the past. After seeing this video, people will say, then why are you still playing WoW if you're not enjoying it? And you're absolutely right, why would somebody do such a thing? And I think it's fair to say that I'm criticizing the game because I know that they can do a far better job at it. The developers are actually trying to listen to our feedback, and all we can do is hope for Blizzard to do a better job in the future. And I also know that it must be very hard to work at Blizzard as a developer, because at the end of the day, it's most likely not the developers who are calling the shots in whether or not an expansion is finished and ready to be released. And that is all for this video, guys. Please let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts are about patch 8.1 and Battle for Azeroth in general. Be sure to follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links are in the description. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and of course don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more WoW content. Oh yeah, don't forget to click on the bell icon to join the notification squad. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.